Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the November 13th Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Now we'll move on to the roll call of members. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Mayor Gentry.
Present.
Jane Taylor.
She's absent.
Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Present.
And Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thank you very much. Okay, now we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. And so we do have a couple, a little bit more than usual. We had a couple quick special meetings for different projects we had going on. So we actually have minutes from our October 15th meeting, our 10/22 meeting, and our 11/2 meeting. So we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our 10/15 special meeting.
I make a motion we approve the minutes for October 15th.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All fair say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that's approved. And we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for our October 22nd meeting.
I make a motion we approve the minutes for October 22nd.
Motion approved. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, those minutes are approved. And finally, our November 2nd special meeting.
I think that was a meeting I missed.
I think that is correct, yes.
Yeah. I make a motion we approve the minutes for November the 2nd.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And Dick, you're going to abstain, correct? Okay. Very good. All right, thank you for that. Next, move on to the department head reports. First up is Police Department. Deputy Chief Bailey tonight.
Good evening. During the period between October 22nd and November 13th, the Lebanon Police Department responded to 971 calls for service. A total of 26 people were arrested for the following crimes: 8 for wanted on warrants, 1 for possession of a syringe, 2 for possession of meth, 1 for dealing in meth, 1 for battery, 1 for battery against an officer, 1 for domestic battery, 1 for intimidation with a gun, 1 for theft, 3 resisting law enforcement, 1 habitual traffic violator, 2 driving while suspended, and 3 operating while intoxicated. A total of 10 handgun carry licenses were issued by our department. During this time, the Lebanon Police Department helped the Lebanon High School with their Alice drill on November 2nd. Members of the Lebanon Police Department helped present at Ken's Foods on their Alice presentation in the local business. We also assisted Harney Elementary School with their Alice drill on November 9th. And then Chief Wormuth attended the Walking Trail Summit this past week. Chief Wormuth this week is attending investigating citizens' complaints and officer misconduct for supervisors. Officer Carlson attended gun sight training on November 1st through the 3rd. Officer Nolan attended a stops instructor's course on October 22nd and the 25th. Last thing, the Lebanon Police Department would like to remind the citizens, as they start receiving packages, please try to have those sent to either your workplace or somewhere somebody's going to be. When they get left out on porches, we do have some people that do like to drive around neighborhoods and looking for packages to grab up. So if you can send those to your workplace or a place where you know somebody can collect those, that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Any questions for Brad from the board?
No.
Any questions from the public? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Brad.
All right, next up is Fire Department. Nope. No Fire Department tonight. Okay. Next up is Parks Department.
Good evening. Hard to believe it's November already, but just a little recap on Fright Force back in October. It was a huge success again this year. I want to thank Allison, the programs director, Taylor, the office manager, all the park staff for all their hard work. Also, huge thanks to the many, many volunteers we had and the countless hours throughout the rainy weather that we had throughout there. Also, the Heart of Lebanon, it was a great success because of them. We had a little hayride going on from the Heart of Lebanon coming down there, and they brought plenty of patrons to our haunted trail. But it's a really nice team up with them there. It's always a good time. The Conservation Club is now closed for the season. We'll open it back up in the spring. We've been working out there, cleaning it up, and also preparing for a dog park that will be going in and possibly yet this year still. There's a lot of construction going on with the KV-69 the utilities is putting in. As soon as they're out of our way, we'll have the fence up and get that thing going. Real excited about that. Also, all the bathrooms have been closed in the park system. None of them are heated. We tried to keep them open as long as we could. Unfortunately, bad mistake on a couple of them. We put some heat to them, but we had some water issues, a little busted pipes, so they are closed for the season. So sorry to hear that, but it is what it is. Christmas in the cabin, and the Christmas parade will be Saturday, December 1st. In the cabin, there will be from 9:30 a visit from Santa to take pictures with the kids, along with face painting and goodies. The Christmas parade will start in the park at 6 o'clock and make its way to the square, where there'll be more festivities there. Santa will be there also in the courthouse rotunda. We'll drop him off. For more information, and if you'd like to enter a float in the parade, contact the park office. Also, this evening there will be a Big 4 Trail Summit at the Farm Bureau building at 6:30 out at the fairgrounds. I'd love everybody to attend if they could get out there. You'll have representatives from Whitestown, Thorntown, Zionsville, ourselves, and just like to get out there talking about all many different topics and how we're going to connect that. Really excited. The mayor's been involved in this from the get-go. It's real exciting to get all our communities together. I think, Dick, you're a big trail guy, so I think you'll appreciate that.
Yeah, I'd like to be there. I forgot. Saw the mix of the meetings. So
yeah, that's
yeah. We forgot we were going to have two meetings on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's really nice. The county's got involved, and it's really good to get all these communities together. And I think, as you can see downtown, that trail, it's going to come right down through our downtown. But connecting at our last meeting, the mayor will say at the last pre-summit, they were discussing how they're going to connect Colfax to Thorntown and pave that trail, a 10-foot trail. So real excited about that. Pretty soon you'll be able to go there all the way to, Indianapolis, so all the way through. Looking forward to that. Anyway, that's all I had. I did want to say that Al was putting in some overtime yesterday. Mr. Milburn was putting in overtime painting the cupolas. The roof on the memorial shelter. Him and his son, by the way, were out there about all day from 9 till about 6:30, I think I saw you leaving. Anyway, those are going to look very sharp. Beautiful eagle. That work should start, construction should start, if not next week, weather permitting, probably next week, go on for about 2 weeks. We also have a couple trails that will be put in the Memorial Park, and that will happen also in the next couple weeks. So there'll be a lot of activity out there, along with the lighting of all our Christmas lights that we've been hard at work putting up, and we'll light those up Thanksgiving and keep them on through the new year. That's all I had.
Okay, thank you, John. Any questions for John from the board?
No.
Any questions from the public? Okay.
Thank you.
And I remembered, actually, Chief Batts asked me to read the report for the fire, so I realized I had that in my email and just forgot to read it. So this is the fire report for this Board of Works meeting. Since the last Board of Works meeting, Lebanon Fire has made 160 emergency calls for service, logged 241 training hours, performed 39 commercial inspections, provided 13 occupancy updates, installed 4 car seats, and participated in multiple public education events. During Fire Prevention Month, firefighters met with over 900 Lebanon Community School students. Students ranged from preschool through 3rd grade. Topics included fire safety in the home and classroom. On November 2nd, Lebanon Community School officials and local public safety participated in the Alice lockdown drill at Lebanon High School. An LPD officer acted as an intruder while with a simulated firearm. Lebanon High School Alice lockdown protocols were activated, and the intruder was subdued by SROs and LPD. A drone was flown by Whitestown Fire Department Deputy Chief Greg Lanham monitored the students and the building. Fire and EMS units were dispatched from the command post to treat various injuries throughout the school, and drills of this nature prepare public safety officials with operation continuity in emergency situations. On November 9th, Harney Elementary conducted a total evacuation drill. Students were escorted to the Lebanon 7 movie pavilion. All students were then accounted for after an efficient, well-coordinated plan by Lebanon Community Schools, SROs, Lebanon Fire Department, Lebanon Police Department, and Boone County EMS. Special thanks to Lebanon 7 for hosting the students safely. And tonight, why they're not here, through Thursday, Lebanon Fire is hosting 3 nights of live fire training. Training will focus on below-grade firefighter and civilian rescue. Several of our automatic and mutual aid departments are attending: Whitestown, Center Township, Pittsboro, and Thorntown Fire. And they also would like to invite myself, the council, and the Board of Works to the training. The training starts at 6 p.m. each night. And again, that's from tonight through Thursday. And that's the fire report. So next up is engineering. Mr. Krulik.
Thank you. Good evening. Engineering report for November 13th. Update you on a few things going on around the city. Wrapping up our East Street project, as most of you are aware. We're really just down to our consultant is reviewing as-built documents, so we'll have those for the file to document all the variations from proposed plan. And then the only real remaining construction item is a couple of trees, 4 to be specific, that are yet to be planted. That should go in, actually may have even went in today. I didn't make it up there this afternoon to see if that happened, but they're scheduled sometime this week to plant the four remaining trees. Moving on, the Northern Interchange Feasibility Study. It's been a little while since we talked about that, but just giving everybody a heads up that we are looking to submit that project in NDOT's upcoming federal funding availability notice that will be due on December 7th. So we are currently working with our consultant to put together an application whereby we could submit that for construction funding on the federal level. We have been encouraged by NDOT to go ahead and make that submittal, and so we're working on that, and we're encouraged by their enthusiasm for the project. Keep in mind that is 2024 funds, 2024 fiscal year. So it's not going to happen anytime real soon, but that's the schedule and the pace at which NDOT and Federal Highway move. So we're gonna go after some help on that project. All right, moving on to the exciting stuff. Downtown action plan. Work around the square continues to move forward. We hit a big milestone in the last week. Actually, Saturday, we opened up Meridian Street to traffic, so you can now drive on Meridian Street unobstructed from State Road 32 to North Street and parts to the north. That also included all the lights, the street lights, the catenary lighting has all been installed, and happy to report as of a few hours ago, the lighting is on Meridian Street. So I would encourage you as you drive home tonight to swing by Meridian Street. It's it's going to be a really special place. And I get a lot of questions about this, so I'll answer it for the public. Those overhead lights are not Christmas lights. They will be there all the time. So in case you were wondering. Washington Street also then closed on Saturday, November 10th. And we're working towards completing that. We have really done all the demolition on the north side on Washington Street, including demolition at the State Road 39 intersections with Washington and Meridian, or Washington and Main Street, excuse me. We have set all the limestone on 3 sides of the, on 2.5 sides of the courthouse. So the south side, the east side, half of the west side. And we're working on pouring foundations this week to begin continuing to set limestone all in the north and northwest corner of the courthouse. So a lot going on. Work expected in the coming weeks. We're working on traffic signal pole foundations at the 39 intersections. These are massive 24-foot deep foundations that have to be installed. We got one installed today on Washington Street, and we'll be looking to do the others as we move through the week. Water main extension, extending the water main west of 39 on Main Street is scheduled for tomorrow evening. This will be after-hours work so as to minimize any impacts to the community. NDOT has been notified. I am happy to report, though, there is no water outages associated with the work on Wednesday night. So this is just tying into the valves that are in the middle of the intersection of 39 and Main Street and extending pipe to the west so that can be extended on into future sections. On Thursday, then, we will move up the street to the intersection of Washington and 39 and be doing the water tie-ins there. Unfortunately, there will be a water outage for that. Those customers have all been notified of that outage, but that will be after hours on Thursday night when we perform that work. In both cases, the water is expected to be fully on and repaired and back into service by morning. So there shouldn't be any major disruptions to the city, but if you do drive through those areas late at night, you will see some flagging and some additional cones in that area as we work in that area. So please be conscious and aware of those construction workers and slow down if you can. Also happy to report that Vectren is scheduled to be here tomorrow to begin utility relocation work on Main Street and West Main Street. So this is vital to get them out of the way for not only the intersection improvements at 39, but also Phase 4 of the downtown project and the second phase of West Main Street, which will be starting up here shortly as well. I think that covers about everything. I should also note that the work on Washington Street, as well as the work in all the intersections, so the State Road 39 intersections, is scheduled right now to be completed sometime in mid-December. We've got a lot of work to happen and a lot of weather that could be in our way between now and then. We seem to have not had fall. We've jumped right into winter, but we're working our way through all that. And the contractor's schedule does put that on a timeline to be completed mid-December. Again, look for those updates through the Heart of Lebanon, and we just encourage you to continue to support your downtown businesses. Moving on to the next phase of that project, so Phase 2, or the West Main Street project, which will continue to extend the Big 4 Trail out to Patterson Street and connect that trail into downtown. You heard John mention that earlier, so this is an exciting hole and missing link there that we'll be able to complete next spring, as well as the reconstruction of Main Street in that area. We received 5 bids on November 2nd. All those bids had an average price of $3.6 million for the base bid. The base bid included all the work. There was an alternate bid that was required for removal of some of the decorative elements of the project, but happy to report there really was not significant value associated with that deduction, so we are recommending that we move forward with the base bid. $3.6 million average. The low bid was $3.3 million. Well, just shy of 3.4, $3,393,000. That is below our engineer's estimate of $3.7 million. So happy to report that. The apparent low bidder is White Construction. Their bid package has been evaluated by Krieg DeVault as well as our consultants on the project and deemed to be responsive. So later tonight we will be asking you to award that project pending some post-bid items, pending bond closing, pending legal review. There's a lot of caveats that go along with that. We would like you to take action later tonight to issue that tentative award. Also, a few other numbers. Happy to report that you might know that we bid this project, or a very similar project, as part of the downtown project earlier this year. That bid came in at $4.2 million. So we are now at $3.4. That's about a savings of $800,000. So I think you all made the right call when we agreed to repackage that and put it out for bid at a more, I guess, a more beneficial time of the year. So we're happy to move forward with that. Again, so that puts a total project when we add in contingencies and inspection services at $4.1 million, or just shy of $4.1 million. Again, that's over $1 million below the bond capacity that we had allocated for the project of $5.2 million. So we're in good shape, ready to move that forward. I believe bonds go for pricing tomorrow and scheduled for closing around December 6th. So we'll issue a notice to proceed shortly after that. The contractor will be allowed to start work immediately, but they will have to do any work that they start this winter under traffic. They cannot close the road until April. Sorry, that was a lot, but there's a lot going on with the downtown project. Moving on to a couple other things, pavement resurfacing. The work by Triangle and by Baumgartner is complete. We've got work still underway with Grady Brothers. They had the bulk of the street resurfacing projects. Their West Elm project and Drake Street project are all we have left to finalize this year's program. Temperatures look to be favorable in the next week or so to get those complete. Those have been milled, so we're just waiting for temps to warm up a bit so we can get surface down. And then they're also completing miscellaneous ADA ramps this week as well. Unhappy to report that we did receive notice. We received a regret letter from NDOT that we did not receive any community crossing funds with this cycle. They said there was nothing wrong with our applications. We've been an exemplary, participant in that project for 2 years now. But they were overwhelmed with the amount of applications they received, and they did inform me that there were 19 communities that had received it in the past that did not receive it this time. I kind of was told a story that it's time for some other people to have a chance, and encouraged us to continue to submit. There will be a new call. Community Crossings will become a 2-time-a-year program, and the next call will be coming out in January, and they've highly encouraged us to continue to keep submitting projects. So. We'll move forward with that. Indianapolis Avenue Phase 2, VS Engineers and Butler Fairman, our consultants for the construction inspection services, are scheduled to begin that and now are under contract. Tree clearing, thanks to Dave Newell and the street department, is wrapping up this week. That will free up utility relocation work that will begin this winter and run through the spring. Letting is now finalized and scheduled for January 16th. We are anticipating, though, a delayed construction start due to the amount of work that has to be done and the amount of utility relocation work. We are anticipating that construction will probably not start till the fall of next year and then wrap up in the spring of 2020. Moving on, a couple other things. Grant Street project, NDOT design contract is ready for execution. Actually, you guys approved that back on October 9th, so if I can get you all to stick around after the meeting, I've got some places I need signatures from you all to wrap that up, and then we can begin that design work. NDOT has also informed me that they will be funding that design work, so we don't have to worry about any allocations for that work. A few other private projects. Riley Ridge, curb and asphalt installation is scheduled to begin this week. Obviously, we're watching temperatures real close and making sure they do everything the right way. Sunbrook off-site easements have been secured, and they are proceeding with, we are proceeding with technical review of those construction drawings and anticipate construction to start this winter and into the spring. And then Drake Estates, a lot of people have heard about that project. That project has been delayed once again due to the request of the developer until a plan commission meeting in December. So, sorry that was a long report, but thank you for your time.
It's all right, lots of stuff going on.
Be happy to answer.
Any questions for Kevin from the board?
I don't have a question, but I got a comment. I walked downtown this morning, and it's looking really good. And I did notice the Gentry skateboard stops are in, so they're looking pretty nice.
They are. You know, I wish I had one here because what's really neat about them is on the side of them, below where they are mounted, it says Gentry 6 right on the side. So I think that's.
I was not aware of that when we ordered that. This is what I pointed out.
We did not request that. That was something the manufacturer did for us. So
Okay.
maybe we can get one to put on the mantle for you or something.
Any other questions for Kevin from the board?
No.
Any questions for the public? Okay, thank you, sir. All right, next up is Planning Department. Ben?
Good evening, board members. Just a few quick things on the planning department. We continue to be busy. We did 43 additional building inspections over the last couple of weeks and issued 30 additional permits, so a couple of those being commercial related, so we are still seeing some pretty good activity as we get closer to the winter time. On the code enforcement side, again, we're really hitting that hard. Although you'll see grass and weed complaints go down this time of year because grass isn't growing anymore, we're still going out probably about every 10 days tagging vehicles that are not properly registered and or junked. So that continues to be a big issue that we're going to continue to deal with, as well as a number of other miscellaneous items that we're addressing on a weekly basis. In terms of special projects going on, the comprehensive plan continues to chug along. We have our next meeting with the steering committee this Thursday, the 15th, and we're going to be reviewing some additional sections and the objectives related to those sections. I know economic development is one of them that we'll be reviewing this week. Just a reminder to anybody who may be watching or anybody in the room, the team is continuing to post surveys weekly on the project website. Then we ask anybody to just visit that website and provide input. There's usually about 2 or 3 or 4 questions on there, asking for people's opinions, ranking different things as far as importance.
Are you getting a lot of input?
Yes, it's actually been going very well. That we've done a Facebook ad that's driving quite a bit of traffic. The ad is directed to people who are in or related to Lebanon. So we're getting several hundred responses to each survey question, which is really good. But the website again is www.lebanonredefined.com, and there's a survey up there right now. In fact, I took it today too. So the production of the final objectives and goals will continue over the next several months, and we're starting now to think about how we start building that project website and how we roll out some of the information. The next public open house where we'll really take a lot of the recommendations out to the public will take place after the first of the year, likely in January or February, but we'll probably start advertising for that as early as December to make sure that people get that on their calendar so we can get as many people there as possible. So the only other thing I just wanted to highlight, last week on Thursday, I think it was, we held what we called a Business and Brews event. We kind of tag team with the Boone EDC. It's an event that they've done in the past, so we kind of stole their name for it, but it was co-hosted by the City of Lebanon and Forza Commercial Real Estate. And we had an evening event where we brought in folks from Launch Fishers to talk about some of their successes and failures or hurdles that they encountered over the last few years as they developed the entrepreneurial space over in Fishers, and invited a number of different people from the city, entrepreneurials, city leaders, et cetera, to listen to them talk and ask them questions to really start developing some ideas about how we might move forward in this city with our entrepreneurial space and how we support that community. Forza also talked a little bit about their project that they have proposed on Lebanon streets and how they might be able to support that effort as well. So these discussions are going to continue over the next several months, and hopefully we'll be rolling out some ideas sometime first quarter next year, hopefully, as we start figuring out exactly how the programming works, and then also the space is going to work with that as well. But this was really just kind of a kickoff event to really just start that conversation. So with that, I'll take any questions if there are any.
Okay, thank you, Ben. Any questions for the board?
No.
Any questions from the public? Okay, thanks, sir. Next up is Street and Stormwater Department. Dave?
How's it going? Let's see, we had 43 additional calls since the last meeting, 22 of those for brush from that windstorm, 3 for dead animals, 10 of them for leaf pickup. There's probably more than that, but it's hard to keep track. We did have 8 calls for recycling set up, so that seems to go pretty good. Keep going with that. People like it. We do have our leaf machines out. We're following the trash route. So if you just remember, try to make it easier for the people. If you're trash, you're picking your leaves up. Obviously, with our holidays, we throws us behind, but we keep following our days, and then we jump back when we get done with those routes to catch up with the days we're off. It just makes it a lot simpler. We've been out. We still got the chipper out. We'll have it out until we have to set that truck up for snow, and then it won't be out no more. So probably about the time leaves. We're done with leaves. We're guessing around the end of the month, but weather's going to change that. I'm sure if it works with us, it'll work. So that's our plan. We have repaired 3 catch basins since the last meeting, and we just keep cleaning off the debris. This time of year is the worst with the leaves. If we get any rain, it's going to flood, but we're on it, and we're doing our new construction still. They're still going at it. We did a proof roll, went good. Hope that Riley Ridge, that went real well. Myself, Craig, and Seth Newsom did it. I had like 3 spots, and that's pretty rare for a big road, so it was good. Let's see, and then we do have all of our big trucks set up with plows and salters. We also have the downtown truck set up with the plow. We've got to tweak a little bit. It came with a metal blade. They don't make rubber blades for that, but we got an extra plow with a 9-foot blade, so that's rubber, so we think we can do a little modification there and make it work. And like I said, once the leaf season's over, we'll have, I believe, 5 more trucks set up. So we should have 10 trucks, I think is what we run. So we got our snow plow routes. We went over those today, so we're ready to go.
Okay. We got lucky and didn't snick last night, so that's good, but I knew we were ready for it, so that was good to hear, too. Any other questions for Dave from the board?
No.
Any questions from the public? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, and finally, Communications, Community Development, Joe LePage.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to begin with a quick thank you. As John kind of mentioned, at the end of October, there was a Mischief on Meridian event where the Heart of Lebanon downtown group and the Parks Department worked together. I just wanted to send a thank you to all the folks that attended that event. Our public really embraced the construction of downtown. At that time, Meridian Street was still ripped up, and that's a major thoroughfare for our event that we put together. But we had the attendance was down a little bit towards the end of it was the end of fall break and things like that, but we still had the neighborhood of 3,000 people downtown for that Mischief event, which was pretty impressive. And what was the best part were just the demeanors of everyone. There were long lines once again. Folks had to access the northern and southern parts of the event because we were up on Washington and down on Main. Folks were willing to walk through a narrow sidewalk on Meridian Street. They were right in front of the businesses and into the ballet school. It was the wax museum, the living wax museum, but also go through the alley and get to the library and the folks on Washington Street, kind of braving that construction. And just the overall demeanor of folks was just fantastic. As someone who cares about the downtown and helps organize that event, I know it meant a lot to a lot of us that folks weren't upset about the circumstances of the downtown construction. They embraced it and still had a great time, great music, fantastic weather. So big thank you for that. Coming up in November, later on this month, a chance for us to kind of more or less give back to those businesses that have gone through some difficult times with this construction project. Small Business Saturday is coming up on the Saturday after Thanksgiving, so the 24th this year. Encourage everyone to shop local. The Heart of Lebanon is putting together a small shop later on in the holiday season, but really encourage folks to shop local and really check out. Now that the beautiful lights are up and going and all of the street signs and things, decorative pavers are now down. Encourage folks to go downtown and maybe do some of their shopping for the holiday season there. And also kind of reiterate what John said about December. The 1st is a pretty big time for our city. It begins with breakfast with Santa at Arnie's, and then middays at Memorial Park, Christmas in the Cabin. And then the evening we wrap up downtown with the parade and the tree lighting like we've done before. And this will be the last year for the living pine tree that is downtown. You may have noticed that there's one domino still left. It's the remaining of the 4 large pine trees. The county has saved that one for this event. And so after that event is over with, that tree will be cleared, and because it's at the end of its life cycle, and so it will be taken down, but it'll be all lit up, and we'll flip the switch. Santa will choose a child like he's done for the previous years, and so we say goodbye to that tree and at the same time celebrate the Christmas season. And so again, that's coming up on December 1st. And then finally, the newsletter will also be released around that same vicinity. It won't be on the 1st because that's on a weekend, but it'll be a couple of days later. If you have information to get to our website that is now back up and running after many calls and frustrated emails back and forth, Lebanon.in.gov is back with a new web provider. And so we look forward to continuing to populate that site with not only stories, but different activities going on throughout the town, or throughout the city, rather. And so info@lebanon.in.gov is a place to send your emails, and information and pictures are always appreciated, so we can add those items to the event page that we have. And so it's a free service we like to offer and direct folks to that. And so good to see the website finally at long last back up and running. So.
Okay. Any questions for Joe from the board?
No.
Any questions from the public? Okay. Thank you, sir. All right. That concludes my department head reports. Anything from the board on that? Okay. Move on to old business then. And Kevin alluded to it earlier. What I have is the Big Four Trail West Main Street contract award. I'll turn that back over to Kevin.
Yeah, good evening once again. I will put up here on the display a bid tabulation, as well as then hand out some copies if you wouldn't mind handing those down.
I think I've got an extra one.
There might be one short.
Yeah, we're good because Jane's not here.
Oh, we got it.
Okay, let me zoom in here a bit for the public. So as I indicated earlier, we received five bids for the Big Four Trail West Main Street project, ranging, as you can see there, from $3,393,000 for the base bid, up to $4,333,000 and some change, again, for the base bid. So all five of those contractors are qualified contractors. We were happy to see that kind of activity submitted. And also happy to report that White Construction, who is your current contractor for the downtown project, was the low bidder. So the base bid was $3,393,000. They submitted an alternate bid price of $3,302,071. Again, also the low submitted alternate bid. Just to remind you, the alternate bid was to remove some decorative material, so some of the street lights, some of the pavers, just to do a more utilitarian project, maybe similar in scope to the East Street project. But for a cost savings of only $90,000 to $150,000, as you can see there, I don't think it makes much sense for us to take that alternate. So, especially given the fact that our total project cost then from a construction standpoint is just shy of $3.4 million. We had an engineer's estimate of $3.7 million. Remind you that we also bid a similar scope project last year, $4.2 million. So we feel good about these numbers, feel good about where these came in, feel good about our relationship with White Construction. Not that there aren't hiccups in any construction project, but we feel good about moving forward with them. We have also reviewed their bid document package, both internally through our consultants, through our legal counsel, and feel as though the White Construction bid document is a complete and responsive bid package. So we are looking at right now the construction cost being $3.4 million. Add 10% for contingencies for unknowns that may come up throughout the project. Add roughly 10% for inspection. We're looking at a $4 million project is what we are proposing. This is well within the $5.2 million bonding capacity that we had allocated for this project. And would tonight ask for a motion and a motion that we would issue a tentative notice of award to White Construction, subject to them submitting all appropriate post-bid items, subject to bond closing, and subject to legal review of all those items and the contract agreement. So that's what we are asking for your support on this evening.
Okay. Any questions for Kevin from the board? No questions from the board? Good. Any public comment, concerns from the public? Okay. Hearing none, then, would entertain a motion to issue a tentative bid award to White Construction pending the filing of post-bid documents, bond closing, and final legal review. Is there a motion?
So move.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that has been tentatively awarded to White Construction. Well, I'm sure you'll inform the bidders of the results.
We will. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Kevin. All right, that concludes what I have for old business. Anything from the board?
No.
Okay, well then we'll move on to new business. The first item I have here, and I think Kevin, you're up again, is the Abner Longley splash pad bid opening. And our attorney, Chris, has the packages.
Excellent. I guess I'm the lucky one that gets to open this, but I'm not the only one involved, of course. There's been a big team really leading this. I'm just the one sort of cheering from the cheap seats. This is really a park project ran by John Messenger. Also happy to report that our consultant, Context Landscape Architecture, is in the back of the room as well. Fred Prezo and Brian McInerney are also here to support this. And as I said, I'm just the one that gets to open the envelopes. So we have 3 bids that were all submitted, sealed prior to the required bid submission deadline. The first one I am reading in no particular order is from Brandt Construction. Again, we will qualify these, but...
Is that Brandt or Grant?
Brandt, B-R-A-N-D-T. Brandt Construction, 303 East Street, East St. Joseph Street, excuse me, Indianapolis, Indiana. Looks like the bid, again, we will qualify these for completeness, but it appears the requisite information is here, and they have submitted a price of $518,000 to construct the splash pad at Abner Longley Park. Again, yes, everything appears to be in order, but we will review these and come back to you at a later date. The second bid package is from R.L. Turner of Zionsville. Again, submitted in compliance with the bid requirements. Proposal form and financial information appears to all be included, and the total base bid amount is $488,000. So $488,000 from R.L. Turner of Zionsville. The third bid package is from J.C. Ripberger Construction Corporation, also from Zionsville. Again, submitted as required. It appears the appropriate financial information is there, as well as the proposal form, and the proposal form includes a base bid proposal of $443,800. So Ripberger at $443,800. So they are the apparent low bidder based on reading, but again, we will qualify these bids through our consultant and legal counsel and get back to you. I do believe we have tentatively, well, we have noticed a meeting on this Thursday at 3 p.m. whereby we would come back and give our formal recommendation and ask for a tentative notice of award, similar to what we just did for the West Main Street project. Any questions?
Okay. Any questions from the board? No. Okay. The bids have been opened. We'll address them at a future meeting. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. All right. Next up is approval of secondary plat for Riley Ridge Subdivision. This is Ben Bontrager.
Sorry, I didn't get a chance to catch you before the meeting. We're going to have to continue it.
Okay.
Kevin and I are working through getting all their bonds posted and all that good stuff, so it's not quite ready to get approved.
Okay. Do we need a motion to continue it or anything like that?
I don't know that we do. We'll just put it back on the agenda.
Okay. We'll put it on the agenda for next time then. All right. Thank you, Ben. All right. Next then is surplus declaration for the Lebanon Police Department. Brad? Looking at me? Bill, do you have these, Bill?
Yes, I do. You're talking about the the equipment box?
Oh, the equipment box, yes, I'm sorry, I forgot all about
Okay.
that. So, yes, we have a 2012 Tahoe box that we need to surplus. And we do have a 2012 vehicle, but Richie, our lieutenant, chose not to have the box in the back of his car because it's more for canine use.
Yep.
And we have a department that's interested in it, and Bill has made contact with Lieutenant Mount to talk about the price of selling it to him, so we just need it surplused.
Okay.
Okay. I
Any
make a motion, we approve it.
motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second, further discussion? All those for say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, Tahoe box has been declared surplus.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. All right, next up is a surplus vehicle declaration. The Street and Stormwater Department. This is Dave.
Yeah, we just have the 6 vehicles that we replaced with our new fleet,
Okay.
our leased vehicles.
Okay. This is the 06 Dodge Ram, a 2002 Chevy, 2001 Dodge, 2001 Dodge, 95 Chevy, and 2004 Chevy. So I think all of those were made before I graduated high school, so probably time to declare them surplus.
Yeah.
Any discussion? Bill, you got everything you
I
need
have
for?
all the paperwork, and Tanya's office has a copy of it, and I will get with Enterprise and make arrangements with you to pick them up.
Yeah, they might, let them know we still have a brand-new vehicle that they dropped off that's not ours, so.
Which
Okay.
one?
It's a Ford F-250 2019, but it's just an extra one they brought, so.
Oh, okay. I'll make sure that they know about that.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
that, or we can give it away at Christmas, I mean.
Yeah, so probably tell them to
However
get
they
here
wanna
sooner
do
than
it.
later.
I don't
If they want to donate it, we'll give
I
it to
don't
them
think they
later.
want to give that away. So,
Okay.
okay,
right.
I make a motion that we approve the surplus on these vehicles.
Okay. Any discussion from board? You guys comfortable with that?
Okay.
We have a motion to declare surplus. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All those favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, those vehicles are declared surplus. All right, and last but not least, we have a street closure request for the aforementioned Christmas parade from, I believe, Missy Krulik from the Heart of Lebanon. All yours, Missy.
Hi, good evening. Missy Krulik, a board member with the Heart of Lebanon. First, I wanted to do a plug for our current promotion that we're doing. The Heart of Lebanon is giving away $100 per day for 30 days. So a total of $3,000 of downtown Christmas cash to be spent at 14 participating merchants downtown. So it's just a way to put money in the pockets of those merchants and support them and allow people to have some nice merchandise to take home.
So how do you participate in that?
You would, I'm going to name off the businesses.
Okay.
You go to those locations, fill out an entry form, and then you'll be entered to win one of those $100 per day giveaways. So, cool. Okay, so it's Pretty Dandy Boutique, EB Gear, Greek's Pizza, Cutting Edge, Merle Norman, Samson Family Leather, St. Adrian Meat and Sausage, Lacey Boggs, Talent Factory, Friendly City Games, Periwinkles, Net Tech, Coffee House and Balloon World, and Cowan's Drugstore. So visit one of those participating merchants and fill out your entry form. And then next, the street closure. December 1st, the Heart of Lebanon is having our downtown Christmas event. During that event, we're going to have a large white tent with a sweet market. It's kind of like a play on the farmer's market where people can come and buy all things delicious. Cookies, candies, sweet treats. Also, there we'll have a live reindeer photo ops that families can come or individuals and take their Christmas photos. Kids games, live performances, the tree lighting ceremony which Joe talked about. The Christmas parade will come downtown and then Santa will get off, do the tree lighting, and then go into the courthouse to visit with the children. So the street closures that I'm needing is on Meridian Street. And I need from the alley south to Main Street, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. That's going to be the bulk of where the event will take place. So half of Meridian Street, because we want to be sensitive to the business owners as well. So the parking is still available on the northern half of Meridian Street for part of the day.
Yep.
So that's kind of what our thinking is there. So, and then Meridian Street from the alley north to Main, closed from 4 to 9, just to prepare for the parade coming downtown and giving people spots to sit and get ready for the parade. So again, Meridian Street, the alley south to Main Street, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., and then the rest of Meridian Street from the alley north to, Washington Street, from 4 to 9 p.m.
So it'll just be on Meridian Street. It'll be like the southern half, the first part of the day, and then the whole street from 4 on. Okay.
4 on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the parade's just a rolling closure, right, Brad? So it's not actually required to be okay. And I assume the downtown business owners, right, are fine with that. They're participating in this, so they'll have the parking, so it shouldn't be too much of a. With the intersection open, that probably helps as well.
Yeah.
So, any questions for Misty from the board?
No.
Okay. So would look for a street closure approval for on Meridian Street from the alley on Meridian Street south to Main Street from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and then the full closure of Meridian Street from Washington Street to Main Street from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
I'll make a motion, we approve the street closure for the Heart of Lebanon and the Christmas Parade event.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the street closure request. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. That street closure request is approved. Should be another great year.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. That concludes all what I have for new business. Anything from the board?
Nope.
Any public comment? Okay. Then would head on to claims and would entertain a motion concerning the claims.
I'll make a motion, we can pay claims.
We have a motion to pay the claims. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Claims are approved. And would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. We are adjourned. Thanks for watching. The next Board of Works meeting will be Monday, November 26th.